Welcome to the Strongest Steel podcast. This is episode 23. I just want to start by acknowledging that I am here in the District 3 office on the unceded stolen territory, traditional territory of Coast Salish people, in particular the Squamish, Musqueam, and Tsleil-Waututh First Nations. And hopefully you all can learn and know about the territory that you're on where you're listening to this podcast. And the Strongest Steel podcast, incidentally, you can listen on and watch on YouTube and listen on Spotify, Apple, Amazon, Buzzsprout. I don't know, maybe some other places. I'm not sure. I don't know really about that. And you can follow USW District 3 on social media at USW District 3. I'm Scott Lunny. I'm the director for Western Canada for the United Steelworkers, what we call District 3. I use the pronouns he and him. And I'm excited about episode 23. We're going to talk about the Steelworkers Summer Program, which is a program under the Family Community Education Fund. We had a podcast about the Family Community Education Fund a while back, so you can go into the archives and learn about the Family Community Education Fund. But today we're going to talk about the Steelworkers Summer Program. And the guest that I got with me is the coordinator that we hired for the Steelworkers Summer Program this year, Tracey Phan, who's a member out of USW member 2009, out of working at the BC Federation of Labor. We were able to, really lucky to be able to second her to coordinate our Steelworkers Summer Program this year. So with that, I will introduce Tracey and let Tracey introduce herself, and we'll get on with the podcast.
Thanks, Scott. Hello to everybody tuning in. My name is Tracey Phan, and my pronouns are she, her. Today, I have our Winnipeg group joining us for our podcast takeover. You'll see we have here Elisha, Hazel, Micah, and Juliana. Alrighty, let's jump right into it. I'm going to put Micah right on the spot. Tell us, what has been your favorite part of working with the United Steelworkers up until this point?
I love how right away it just feels like a family, and everyone's so close, and everyone's so welcoming. We got to learn a lot and get to see things we don't normally see.
That's great. We'll talk a little bit more about all of the exploring that you folks got to get up to in your group. You had the lovely Sue Harrelson set up all these great excursions for you, and I think your viewers are going to love hearing about that. Juliana, you folks got to also partake in some interviews that you took on as a self-directed project. Can you tell us what is one piece of advice that you received during your 6 weeks with us that you think would be helpful for somebody who's just starting out in labor advocacy?
First, I want to thank both of you for inviting us here today. I would say that it's really important to have your voice be heard. Whether you have certain things in your life that may stop you from that physical, mental disability, it's very important to have the courage to speak up about something that may make you uncomfortable, even if you're scared of getting demoted or fired, because at the end of the day, we're all people who have rights.
That is amazing. And my friend Elisha, can you explain to the viewers and maybe anyone who might be interested in participating in this program later on, what was the process for getting into this program like, and what did your first day look like?
Yeah, so for how we got into the program, all of us here have a family member that is a part of the United Steelworkers. So we were sent out by email. We just kind of heard about it, and we went through this pretty standard process of getting into the program. So we had some questions, we had interviews, and of course, like submitting resumes, stuff like that. And this is a 6-week program, so this runs July till August, and it is paid as well and open to young adults. And so our first day, we jumped straight into going to the Human Rights Museum, and we attended this event, which was called the National Gathering of Indigenous Steelworkers, where we had the privilege of listening in on all of the wonderful stories from other people and like the hardships they endured, as well as just listening in. We weren't much on the talking side. We were just kind of tuning in on stuff like that because it was our first day and we weren't sure what we were thrown into. So
Yeah, and from my conversations with you folks who had the opportunity to attend the NGIS, it was a resounding response that you all got to take away a lot of great learning opportunities. You folks learned something that you didn't expect to learn, even though we did walk into this event with some prior knowledge. So I'm glad that we were able to share that opportunity with you folks. Hazel, as someone who has lived in Winnipeg their whole life, what was it like going on the Winnipeg trolley tour?
It was very interesting. I mean, we kind of drove around the city that we've all been around before and been driving through our whole lives, but instead we got to learn specific details that we would have no idea about if we didn't go on that. And to be able to learn that Winnipeg actually has history was really nice. So, yeah.
Amazing. Now I'm going to throw it back to Juliana. What is one piece of advice that you would give to somebody who might be hoping to join this program in future years?
I would just say that take every moment in and just appreciate every single opportunity that will eventually come your way, just because I've learned so much by being here, and I definitely can say that it's privilege, and I would hope to come back next summer. But I would also want another student open to learning so many brand new things, especially with the NGIS opportunity that we had. We were able to dive deeper on certain issues that we might not relate to, and I think that's very profounding. And as young adults, it's really important for us to expand our minds and our opinions and just be in the real world and experience it for what it is. So just essentially take every moment and just be in it and just appreciate every second that I'm in this program.
I love that. Elisha, some of you were able to take the Bargaining to Win course. What did that look like?
Yeah, so the Bargaining to Win course, what happened was it was a 3-day running program. It was a bit condensed, but we were there for the full 3 days. And so it basically talked about some things about the bargaining process and the stuff that the bargaining committee does. So how the communication works, the negotiation and stuff like that. So we kind of just ran through some introductions on the first day. There was 4 different locals there, something like that. But it was kind of in different areas of the room. And they were talking about, the stuff that's going on in their locals, what kinds of contracts, what kind of collective bargainings they've done. And so we were able to tune in on all that. And it was mostly focused on discussion, I'd say, and learning about just how it all works. And yeah, by the end of it, there were some videos that we could analyze and just seeing that dynamic between employers and employees in a union. Yeah.
Amazing. Now, for folks who are tuning in and listening to the podcast and you're hearing about the Steelworkers Summer Program for the first time, the students who participate in the program have some scheduled programming that I set up for them. One of the projects that the students participated in this time around was a week-long interview project where they did a self-directed report and they reached out to somebody that they were interested in interviewing. So I'm going to ask Hazel, what was your experience with the interview project that you all got to participate in?
For myself, I got to interview the president of the Manitoba Nurses Union, and I'm really grateful that I got to do the nurses union, but also the president, because I plan on becoming a nurse one day. And so I would consider it very beneficial to be able to learn from someone who had experience being a nurse, but also has experience representing nurses. And yeah, I got to learn about how the struggles first that nurses face in the workplace, but also how the union combats these problems for them.
Thank you, Hazel. And last but not least, Micah, my friend, this is the one that I'm most jealous about. You folks are scheduled for the Simplot Fry Plant tour. Tell us, what are you most excited about your tour with them?
For the French fries, honestly. But we get to see people do their jobs, and you don't really think about it, and they're doing all this hard work, and you get to see this
It sounds very exciting, and I am very, very jealous of you folks. I wish that I could be there. I had actually spoken to Mark Morgan, who will be leading you on this tour, and he said that there is a long hallway where you just see from start to end that whole potato being turned into a French fry. So I think that will be a great experience for you folks to have.
So the question I have for the folks in the Winnipeg office is, are the staff there working hard? I really want to know if like Sue and Mike and Phil, if they're hard at it, or, what's going on there.
Yeah, they are, honestly. Sue's always finding us work, and she's always busy, so she does her best with giving us work. Good.
Yeah, no, I like the Winnipeg office. It's very very welcoming, and Sue does a great job there. And my next question is, how awesome is Tracey? Was Tracey awesome? Because I think Tracey's awesome, but I want to get some real feedback from some of the students.
Tracey's the best.
Yeah, she broke the scale. So she's amazing.
Thanks, folks. I appreciate it.
No, I really, we've done the Steelworkers Summer Program for actually quite a number of years. I mean, we, even before the Family Community Education Fund in District 3, we did some, we had, started a little student program of our own, and it kind of got folded into a national program and all that. But this is the first time in District 3 that we've had a coordinator. So I think that it's gone really well. Like from our perspective, Tracey, why don't you tell us a little bit about what it was like coordinating the Steelworkers Summer Program and how that all that sort of worked out, and I don't know whether you enjoyed it or not. Hopefully you enjoyed it.
No, I hate it. I can't wait for my time to be over. No. I'm just kidding. I had a lovely time, and I am having a lovely time. I could not be more thankful and grateful that I got such a lovely group of students to be working with. I feel like you folks are always very eager to learn more, and the work that I set out for you, you always hit the bar, and you set the next benchmark for every person that comes after you. You folks are very hardworking. Fun fact, yesterday, 2 of the folks sitting in this room right now actually showed up for our 9 a.m. meeting, even though it was a long weekend. So I must give you folks your flowers for that. I was also set up to succeed by Dana and you, Scott, as well. You folks had walked me through it, given me all the answers and the tools that I needed. So I felt really good walking into this, and I felt like I was able to hit the ground running as well.
Awesome. Dana being Dana Sykes, our fabulous District 3 education coordinator. And Tracey, we didn't just have students in Winnipeg, right? Where else did we have summer students this year?
We also have students coming from the Saskatoon office, and we also have students in our Thompson office as well.
Great. That's awesome. Yeah, no, that's really good. So I don't know, is there anything else you all want to add? This is your big chance, Winnipeg office, Steelworkers Summer students. The Strong & Steel podcast is huge, like dozens of listeners, I'm sure, District 3 wide in the Steelworkers. So anything else, anything you want to share, anything you want to say, tell us about yourselves?
If you get this opportunity to take this summer program, I think it's awesome because you get to speak to many different type of people and learn lots from them. And for me, it's been easier to speak to more people, and I always struggled with that.
Cool. Yeah, no, don't forget about the union after this too. I know you got family members that are in the union, but there's lots of opportunities, not just the Steelworkers Union, but there's lots of other unions out there that are in all sorts of different kinds of sectors. And if you get some job that doesn't have a union, it's better with a union. So. Okay, I'm supposed to let people know that you can find out more about the Steelworker Summer Program at usw.ca/steelworker. What is that, a hyphen summer? So usw.ca/steelworker-summer. to find out more about the Steelworkers Summer Program. And you can go on the Steelworker website to find out more about the Family and Community Education Fund, or about District 3, which is our great largest district in the whole International Union. Have I mentioned that? Largest geographic district, just so I don't get in shit with District 6. Largest geographic district in our International Union, with spanning the 4 Western provinces and the territories. You can find out more at usw.ca/District 3. Again, follow us on socials at USW District 3, and tell your friends. Keep listening to the podcast. It's big, like I keep saying, biggest steelworker podcast in Western Canada. So with that, that's episode 23. I want to thank Tracey and our Steelworker Summer guests from the Winnipeg office. And this has been the Strongest Steel podcast. Thanks a lot.